Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your prom queen, Mickey.
Wait, it's not Mickey? Shoot.
I mean, Mikey.
Hello prom goers! Let's start with those of you who don't plan on going full Carrie-esque to the big dance. Even if it's not getting ripped out of your head in a fight for the crown, the hair is still an important part of any prom look. This is the wig I chose to sacrifice later on, so for now I'm pinning it back for that ever so popular half up, half down do. The makeup for this is simple and neutral to go with any colored dress. Jumping right into the look and skipping base things like foundation and brows, start out by priming your lids so that you can still look good at those questionable prom after parties. Then using a matte white shadow as our base, I'm sweeping that all over the lid and crease with a big fluffy brush. Taking a shimmery cream colored pigment and the same brush, I'm placing this in the inner corners of the eyes. The shimmer will attract extra attention on those eyes so that your date won't be able to take their eyes off yours. This ends up being a really nice subtle dimensional kind of touch by the end, but now I'm taking a shimmery shadow that matches the color of my dress, so in this case like a Tiffany blue, and I'm blending that on the outer half of my lid in the crease and on the outer half of the lower waterline. If you're wearing a different color, find its matching eyeshadow and use that. If your dress is neutral or if you just degaff, skip this step. Next I'm taking a shimmery brown shadow and sweeping that lightly over all the same spots. Finally, I'm taking this warm matte brown shadow to deepen the very most corner area, blending out as you go and cleaning up any fallout at the end. Make sure you keep under the waterline blended out as well. And next, do your eyeliner. Make sure it's waterproof in case you cry from someone else's stiletto heel digging into your foot when you're all twerking on the packed dance floor, because you know, it's likely to happen at some point. Same reason to have a good waterproof mascara on. So here I'm putting on lashes, but what you should know is that at some point before this, I added blue liner to my waterline to match my dress, and I apparently didn't record doing it, but I really feel like I did, but it's not here. So yes, for a nice little matchy touch, use a liner that coordinates with your dress. Back to the lashes. Glue them on good. I'd say they'll be the first things you want to take off by the end of the night, but let's be honest, your shoes will be off 30 minutes into prom. Do all your standard contour, blush, and highlight jazz so your face doesn't look like a lifeless potato. Not that there's anything wrong with lifeless potatoes. Then to get this lip, well, let's just say there's probably a much easier way to get this color, but I spiraled down into this path by accident. I lined my lips with a dark red liner, and then I applied 2 liquid lipsticks that I ended up thinking were way too mauvey pink, so I covered it with a shimmery gold gloss, and then again on the outer edge of the lips with a deep brown gloss, to end up with the color that will now be known as Mikey's Mess. Have fun wearing lip gloss if you plan on making out with your date, though. Actually usable prom makeup portion complete, and remember that you're a queen no matter what. The only thing that really separates you and the prom queen is spending $20 on Amazon for this little tiara and sash drawn. On to what you guys are really planning to wear at prom. We start by sacrificing a beloved wig. To turn this chunk of hair from fashion statement to scalp statement, we need to add some chunks of our own to it. Flesh chunks, that is. The easiest and cheapest way to do this is to slather hot gelatin all over the inside front portion of the wig. A link to a video that explains how to make gelatin and use it will be in the description box below. When the gelatin starts to cool, you want to take whatever stick kind of thing you're working with and start patting the gelatin, pulling little bits of it up. This adds instant gory texture. When the front 3 inches or so are covered and cooled, use a deep red cream paint to color your scalp chunkage. At this point, it should be looking nice and creepy. We'll come back to this soon. On to the application. Find yourself a bald cap. Ooh, what's this? Remember that Deadpool setup Valentine's Day video where a bunch of people got real feisty because I didn't get to the part of the tutorial with this heart effect? Well, I just cut out some hearts from this bald cap, glued them on my head, and used a bright red shadow to basically contour around my face, peeling the hearts off after. So there. Anywho, with my current beaded extensions, I have a lot of hair to hide, so I put that in a low braided bun and put the bald cap on afterwards. Trim the front of the bald cap as close to your hairline as possible for this look, leaving only about ½ an inch extra for gluing. I'm using spirit gum to glue I'm using spirit gum to glue down the front edges, but you can use Prozade as well. Normally you'd glue the bald cap to the back of your neck, but mine was much too short to reach past my bunno hair, so I just bobby pinned it down as much as I could. Luckily, it doesn't really matter too much for this look because all we see is the first few inches in the front anyway. I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but we're going to use Cinewax, also known as Scar Wax, for this next step. A lot of you probably already know that I loathe this stuff, but I'll explain why in a sec. Taking tiny rectangular pieces, I'm laying the wax at the seam of the bald cap and smoothing down the edge closer to my face. We're doing this to create a kind of shelf at the top of the forehead so that our exposed skull sits lower than our face, thus creating the illusion of having ripped back a layer of scalp. So let's talk about why this product is the devil. First, this one by Krylon is less demonic than Ben Nye's Scar Wax. Ben Nye should stick to scab blood. Still, I find them all incredibly not fun because they are hard to work with, wax is very sticky, and it's difficult to smooth out over large surfaces. It's heavy and therefore not good to use for big pieces, and it does very poorly in any areas with movement or any kind of moisture. But in small amounts for raised edges like this or tiny cut scars, etc., it's an okay option that can be pretty quick. Some ways to make working with this Satan wax easier is to use petroleum jelly to coat your hands or tools as you work with it, but make sure that there's none on the area of your skin that you're actually looking to place the wax on or it won't stick. Use a metal makeup spatula with the petroleum jelly to smooth down surfaces, and if things get really tough, you can put adhesive down before the wax and a thin layer of latex down on top of the wax to seal it. But I'm gonna be honest, it still sucks. Anyway, when that's done, I powder it with some banana powder or any colored powder that's close to your skin if you're working with clear wax like me. Next, start painting it insides by using a big fluffy brush and red cream paint for a broken up coverage. Next, take white cream paint on a sponge and add in large patches of white to simulate an exposed skull. The mix of the white and red looked a little pink, so I doused the white in banana powder to give it a more off-white, bony color. You can start out by using an off-white cream paint to begin with, to prevent this. I think we're at the point where this product literally needs no introduction from me. Take a little stipple sponge, which my camera did not want to focus on. It's the same weird texture sponge from the fake freckle tutorial, and we're going to use a corner of this dipped in scab blood to recreate really easy scrapes. You may remember Jay Kissa used her pointy ass nails to try to jack my crown, and this is how we fake that. Simply lay the edge of the sponge lightly on the face and drag. The work is all done with the right kind of sponge here. Put them everywhere. Eyes, lips, nose, face, chest, shoulders, arms, because in a cat fight, no body part is safe. Welp, it looks like this prom queen didn't take my advice to use waterproof eyeliner and mascara, so this is the consequence, raccoon face. I'm using black water activated paints with a lot of water on my brush to drip the product down from each eye. Make sure you smudge your lipstick too. I quickly decided to add one little soon-to-be bruise on the cheek here. A tutorial on how to do bruises with this ripped sponge technique is in the description box below. It was my very first FX tutorial, so check it out if you're unfamiliar. Back to the scalpage, shall we? Sit the wig on your head a few inches back from your forehead with the fleshy part we added earlier flipped up. To sell the look a little bit more, I'm cutting random curls from the back out and using spirit gum to glue them on the front sideburn area of the face. Time for the final messy touches. Go ham in the scab blood, using the stipple sponge from earlier to cover the fleshy part of the wig and a good portion of the skull. Because you're working so close to that loose hair you cut, you may end up with what I call makeup hairballs. To further give the illusion that the hair was pulled back from the forehead, I'm using my spatula to create vertical scrapes of scab blood pulling upwards. Lastly, use some regular drippy fake blood to fill in the edges of the skull, drip down the face, create extra splatter marks with the sponge, etc. Don't use too much blood though, or you'll cover up all your hard work. I pinned my wig back just a little bit to match the starting shape a bit more, but otherwise, you are done. You've survived the attack on the coveted crown, so who cares if you're missing a little hair in the front? That's what bangs are for. Or you can Sinead O'Connor it. If you're going to prom this year, you probably didn't get that reference. Holy potatoes, it's been a decade since my prom. Oh, where does the time go? Okay, I'm out of here. I gotta go reminisce about the good old days. Oh, P.S. Don't drink and drive or you or someone else could look a lot worse than this. Also, if you're not popular in high school, I can promise you it won't matter at all once you're out of it, so don't sweat it. Okay, really leaving now. Happy prom, y'all.
This is how I dance at the prom. Just like this.
So you gotta stop laughing now, because you're just laughing at all this. Alright, look mortified. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead. So you just keep laughing.
No, I'm doing this. I laughed for a second and then I got right back in character, okay?
At least your lipsticks still look good though.
Elizabeth!
Alright, SpongeBob.
How do you think I feel?
You're not getting hit!
Am I actually slapping her?
Do it.
Count 3, 2, 1.
I've never been this nervous to hit someone. Okay, you gotta get serious.
Get whiny.
I didn't count 3, 2, 1.
I'm so sorry.
I think we got it.